The headline suggesting that Paul Hogan reveals the horrors of his divorce from Linda Kozlowski immediately evokes drama and emotional turmoil, especially considering the couple's long and highly publicized relationship. Paul Hogan, the Australian actor best known for his iconic role as Mick Dundee in Crocodile Dundee, met Linda Kozlowski on the set of the 1986 blockbuster film. Their on-screen chemistry translated into real life, and the pair married in 1990. For years, they were viewed as one of Hollywood's enduring couples, particularly admired because their love story began organically through their shared creative work. However, after more than 2 decades of marriage, Kozlowski filed for divorce in 2013, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized in 2014, marking the end of a 23-year marriage that had once seemed inseparable from the Crocodile Dundee legacy. Despite sensational headlines that often frame celebrity separations as filled with bitterness and scandal, publicly available records and interviews suggest that the Hogan-Kozlowski divorce, while undoubtedly painful on a personal level, was relatively amicable compared to many high-profile Hollywood splits. Reports indicated that the settlement included a financial agreement and shared arrangements regarding their son, Chance Hogan. There were no explosive public accusations, courtroom battles filled with shocking revelations, or prolonged legal wars dominating tabloid headlines. The phrase "reveals the horrors" appears to be more reflective of the emotional difficulty that accompanies the end of any long-term marriage rather than documented scandals or shocking secrets. Divorce, especially after decades together, can be emotionally devastating. For Hogan, whose global fame was intertwined with the film that brought them together, the separation may have symbolized not just the end of a marriage but also the closing of a significant chapter in his life and career. Following their divorce, Linda Kozlowski largely stepped away from acting and maintained a more private lifestyle, while Paul Hogan also kept a relatively low public profile compared to his peak fame years. In interviews over the years, Hogan has spoken about the challenges of aging in the public eye and navigating life transitions, though he has not publicly detailed extreme horrors tied specifically to the divorce. It is common in entertainment media for emotionally difficult but ordinary life events, such as divorce, to be reframed in dramatic language to attract attention. Words like horrors suggest betrayal, shocking misconduct, or deeply traumatic revelations, yet there is no widely verified evidence of such elements in their case. Instead, the available information paints a picture of 2 individuals whose long marriage ultimately reached its natural conclusion. Long-term relationships can evolve, priorities can shift, and differences can grow over time. For public figures, these private struggles often unfold under intense media scrutiny, which can amplify the emotional toll. The financial aspects of celebrity divorces also tend to attract public curiosity. At the time of their separation, Paul Hogan was reported to have substantial assets accumulated from his successful film career, particularly from the Crocodile Dundee franchise, which was a massive international success. Nevertheless, the divorce proceedings did not spiral into prolonged public disputes over wealth or custody, suggesting that negotiations were handled with a level of discretion. It is also important to recognize that both Hogan and Kozlowski shared a unique bond rooted in a career-defining project. Crocodile Dundee was not only a commercial phenomenon but also a cultural moment that shaped their identities in the entertainment world. The end of their marriage may have felt symbolic to fans who associated their real-life relationship with the romantic storyline of the film. However, the realities of marriage differ from scripted romance. Ultimately, while the divorce likely carried personal pain, there is no substantial evidence of shocking revelations or dramatic horrors beyond the understandable emotional strain that accompanies the dissolution of a long partnership. Sensationalized headlines often amplify routine life transitions into dramatic narratives, especially when involving beloved public figures. In this case, the story appears to center more on the emotional weight of ending a decades-long relationship rather than hidden scandals or extreme conflict.